Hey, what's up everyone? I'm here today with a video about a Boker Karambit. It's the Black Scorpion Boker Karambit. And I'm just going to give you some basic specs of it, tell you a little bit about it, tell you about one of my foolish mistakes. So, a few little basics here. The Karambit measures, let's see, a little over 8 inches from tip of the blade to tip of this medieval torture device back here. The blade is 2.75 inches. Handle is almost 5 inches. It is made out of stainless steel. And then as you can tell, in, Karambit fashion, it has the steel finger ring here. It has a glass breaker, which can break a lot more than glass. I'll get to that later. I do like how it kind of comes in around here with the index finger. I usually really like that a lot. Helps me get purchase on the handle, and I just kind of like that added protection there that this and the flipper kind of give you. As far as the jimping goes, jimping is awesome. It does feel very good in the hand. So you have jimping here. We have some jimping in there to choke up on it a bit, which is cool. Back here, we have a little more jimping. No back spacer. So, using that two-handed grip is pretty good. There is a pocket clip here, kind of a so-so pocket clip. Not one of the better Boker clips. Boker makes some really grippy clips. This one, not so much. But it's not a deep pocket clip. It's a little thicker than some other Karambits I have, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's good because it, like I said, you feel like you got a really solid grip on it, like you're really locked into it between the jimping and this indentation in the finger guard here. So that's pretty cool. When it came, not too sharp. I guess it was sharp enough for basic tasks, but you're probably not going to be wowed by it and think it's unbelievable. So you're going to have to really work on that blade edge yourself. But I'm sure it'll be, I haven't done it to this point, but I'm sure it'll sharpen up nicely. You have the thumb stud in there, which is really the chief way you're going to open this. It's really the only way you're going to open this, probably with one hand. And then we have the liner lock here. So I'm going to close this for you. Sorry about that. So closed, it's a little over 5 inches, I believe. Yeah, about 5.5 inches from top of the handle to the medieval torture device. Again, I will get to that in just a second. Now, I have a problem with this knife. And the problem is all my fault because I saw the flipper, I saw the Karambit, and all my Karambits that flip are all assisted opening. This Karambit is not assisted opening. First thing I did, I got it and I went, whoosh, and that's what happened. It looked like a sickle. You have to do the old wrist action to get it open. And yeah, I was a little disappointed in that because I just kind of like the assisted opening. But again, that's all my fault because I just made the assumption, and you know what they say about what happens when you assume, what you make of you and me. Well, this time I just kind of made that of myself. The other thing I have to bring up, and this is actually a negative, and I can't believe this, I would see this as a negative on a knife, but there's a glass breaker at the end. Now, normally I kind of like glass breakers. If you have to break glass for some reason in an emergency, it's a good thing to have. But this one is just insane. It is, now it wasn't sharpened, but it's extremely sharp, like too sharp. If you put your finger on it, you can feel the sharpness. If you would accidentally hit yourself on this, you're probably going to need a Band-Aid. It's probably going to hurt. The thing that bothers me about it most, though, is you have this pocket clip down here, up here, I should say. So you put this in your pants pocket, let's say, and then you have that point. It is going to make a hole in your pants pocket. Okay, so if you have anything else in there in your pants pocket, it's probably gonna end up falling through the hole, and it's just not gonna be good. But even that aside, I think eventually, after it makes the hole in the pants pocket, it's going to make a hole in your epidermis. I mean, that thing is sharp to the point where I'm actually gonna file that down just to kind of take some of the sharpness out. Not a lot, but just to make it so that it'll still function nicely as a glass breaker, but it's just not going to be crazy, crazy pointy and sharp, because it's totally overkill. I got to tell you, it's a little crazy. So this particular knife was about $20, I believe, on Blade HQ. It's the Boker Magnum Black Scorpion. If you're familiar with Boker knives, Boker makes some absolutely incredible, high quality, limited edition knives. But then they also have kind of like off brands, which is the Magnum. The Magnum is kind of knives that are designed by Boker, and I believe they keep an eye on the quality assurance, but they're actually made out of house by other companies. I have a couple of them, and they're not bad knives at all. But just to let you know, that's probably why it's cheaper, because it's the Magnum. Like I said, it's not a bad knife. $20, it's a decent deal. I would call it consider it a lower tier knife, and considering that it's a lower tier knife, I actually do think it's a decent value for the money. I would prefer it more if it had assisted opening. I like assisted opening, especially with something like a Karambit, where you might have like a more of a self-defense use for it. I would rather have something that didn't require me to flip it with my hand, because let's face it, you might be at a point where maybe you don't have that extra second or two it takes you, might not be available to you. So I would prefer that personally, but again, that was my fault for not paying attention like I should have to the listening. But overall, it's not bad. Not the best Karambit I've ever seen. I got to be honest with you. Considering that it's a stainless steel blade, it doesn't have assisted opening, and you have the medieval torture device of a glass breaker on there, you could probably do as good, or maybe even, I'll dare I say, a little bit better by maybe getting either an M-Tech or a TAC Force, and you could probably get those for probably the $8 to $12 range at this point. The only problem, M-Techs, I haven't had any problem with their Karambits. TAC Force makes some nice Karambits. The only issue I've had with some TAC Force knives is that sometimes the pivot, I don't know if you call it the pivot screw, it seems like it's more likely to come loose sometimes, but you can just tighten that up and keep track on it. So I mean, as long as you just check it every now and then, make sure everything stays tight. They're really not bad knives for the money. So I just wanted to bring this one to your attention. I hope you're all doing really, really well. And I think I'm going to do my best to stop being lazy and turn out some more videos. I have a lot of stuff to catch up on, and I have a lot more knife reviews coming up. Some of them are a little outside the ordinary and a little different. I think a lot of you are going to enjoy them. So I'm going to sign off for now. Have a good one.